Welcome, everybody, to the zoning board of March 21st, 2023. My name is Marty Akins. I'm the chairman. This is the vice chairman, Mr. Radell, Mr. Himmel, Mr. Chin, Mr. O'Brien, Director of Inspectional Services behind me, Mr. Conlon, and our clerk, Mrs. Noonan. If you have a cell phone or pager, could you please put it on vibrate or silent, not to interrupt the meeting? If you're going to speak, please go outside. First up is old business, Lancaster Street, ZBA 2310, 1315 Lancaster Street. What we did, we put it off for a 2-week vote so we could go up and take another look at the property. The questions I have, there's not a piece of impervious area on that right now. How are you gonna stop that water to get from the way it goes down to that neighbors?
Well, I know that, I apologize that the engineer's not here tonight.
No, that's
but
fine.
I know that he made a presentation last night that he's installed drainage control measures that basically would have a catch basin so that the water the site will be graded in a fashion that the catch basin will catch the water and it
Okay.
will distribute the water, distribute the water towards the sewer system.
Right now, it goes right down.
There's no drainage
Right,
controls
it
at all.
flies down.
And the
Big wave,
building,
it just buries the
and the
people
building,
behind.
by the way, and the existing building is on top of the property line,
I know.
if not over the property line. So any water that hits the building or runs off the roof runs onto the neighbors, the abutting neighbor's property.
And all the tar that's there, it's all tar.
It's
The
all
whole thing is
tar. This building, this new building will be set back 17 feet. And by the way, Ryan Donahue prepared this. This is an aerial of the site with Lancaster Street and
Right.
offsite here, showing the buildings as they're set off the property line.
Right,
But the neighbors, I think, on Edward Street, who talked about it being a visual issue and because of the height, have huge mature trees.
I get all that. We went all up there and we looked at it, and we'll see if they have any other questions. But that was my question. That water's gotta stop, and it's gonna stop with those buildings out of there.
It
I
will
know
abs-
that.
And not only is our engineer saying that, the DPW department has
Right.
reviewed the drainage
Right.
control measures, and they've basically said that they're satisfied and comfortable with it. And that's one of the things that I complimented the engineer on that night,
Right.
is that he was very responsive to DPW, and DPW actually, I think, submitted a clean letter, basically saying that they were comfortable with that. The other thing too about the neighborhood, and I know you saw the neighborhood yourself, this house right here is a 3-family,
Right.
it's 3 stories in height.
Yeah,
All the houses on this particular neighborhood are huge, huge houses.
They're all
2 and
huge
3,
houses,
2 and 3 stories in height, and multi-families in themselves. This building right here is also a 3-story building. I mean, not a 3-story, but a 3-family building. And it's actually connected to an existing single-story building,
yeah.
so it's essentially a 4-unit building. We think it's a great proposal. We talked to the counselor again. Councilor Andronico's been very nice and reachable for me. I know that he's submitted a letter tonight. He told me that he submitted a letter tonight reiterating the concerns that were raised by the neighborhood. And we again spoke about the proposal, and he had talked to me about any changes that we could make to the proposal, and we looked at it really closely. But the reality is, and because I know the neighbor's main concern is the height of the building, the height was never gonna change.
no.
And the only thing that we could, and even if we were to reduce this to, for example, as the neighbors have indicated, less units, going to 3 units on the site, it would still be the same density, because that third unit, essentially, one of the units would be cut off this, and this building or that building would be modified, but it wouldn't be shrunken down to nothing. It would still be a substantial building on the site.
No, I just, my only concern when I saw it was that water's flying.
Yeah.
And now that you're gonna grade it off, and it's gonna be a lot better with catch basin. I read the report on the drainage, and I was happy with it, that it came back from DPW. I just wanna make sure we got it right before we go.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions?
I have none at this time.
No, that was my same question we
Yeah.
discussed when we went out there, is the off-site water migration. I think your engineering will be able to handle that with no problem.
Right.
I can save you shit from
Yeah.
water. I have one. The only question I have is, why aren't you completing the wall? There's a section of the wall that's not being rebuilt.
Whole wall?
There's
an existing wall.
Right, but it says that you're proposing a new wall in
On the
there.
civil plans, does it show
Yeah.
a new wall?
Yeah, it shows the wall to be constructed, but it doesn't go the entire length of the property, and I'm just curious why. I don't know if there's that much of a grade difference. Yeah, see it?
Yeah.
I mean, apparently you're taking out the back of the building, and then that requires this section of the wall to be replaced.
And then it has something to do with topography.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can double check on that. And if need be, we probably extend it there.
Oh, I mean, I was just curious if you had, no,
No, I don't know.
It's
What
one
the
of the-
civil engineer's not here.
That's the only question I have.
But if necessary, sure, Brian, we could certainly extend that further. I think it was a topography issue.
Yeah, that's what I, off the top of my head, what I get, but it just seems strange, you're building that much and you're leaving 8 feet or 12 feet, you're not finished. That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing nothing further, I mean, I'm satisfied that that's gonna. No, I'm not. There is no new testimony. That's been shut off the last meeting. Everyone spoke. We heard it. We only put it off for a vote tonight. So my main concern was drainage there, and it's horrible now. It's really bad. And it's gonna help all the neighbors there. I know it will, the drainage system. That was my main thing when I went down. There's not 1 ounce of impervious area on that lot line. Nothing. Zero. So I'll be voting in favor.
Yeah, it's right, be to allow use, I think the building will be a vast improvement from what's there. So, I'll be voting in favor.
Agreed, I'll be voting in favor.
I'm in favor.
Likewise.
Have a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, case number ZBA 23-10, Lancaster Street LLC for a variance to remove the existing commercial warehouse structures and pavement and construct 2 townhouses totaling 4 units on the premise number 13 and 15 Lancaster Street, Quincy. I make a motion to grant the variance.
Second.
On the motion, being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so moved. Thank you.
very much.
Further on to tonight's business, new business. Thomas Kavanaugh for a finding to expand the floor area on the second floor of the property and modify the first floor interior layout on the premises number 651 Hancock Street. The applicant and representative here.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tom Cavanaugh. I'm an attorney with an office here in Quincy, Massachusetts. With me is Chow Nguyen. He's the manager of Mortgage Connection LLC, who's the owner of the subject property at 651 Hancock Street. This location is the former location of the Century Bank, which my client has purchased. What he is seeking to do is essentially, the second floor, an area of it is essentially vaulted from the first floor to the second floor. He's looking to make a second floor in that area to make private office space. Currently, the structure has 2,680 square feet. He's looking to add about 1,000 square feet. It was built prior to zoning. That building, as far as I could go back in the registry of deeds, has always been a financial institution, so there's really no change in use. And it looks like there was a special permit back in 1993 that was done when they, in the rear of the building, there was a portion of the building that was just 1 floor, they added onto the second floor. So what essentially he's looking to do is just kind of connect with that. This is going to fit for, he's currently in Dorchester, he's excited to move his business here. There's 8 parking spots in the back, there's plenty of parking on Hancock Street. It's also a type of business where it's, you know, people come in, it's a half hour, 45-minute meeting. It's not, it's an in and out type place. And I know the lengths that the city's going now with the Wallaston URDP. This would be a great location for a lender, and he'd be excited to move to Quincy, so.
So the inside of the building, nothing's being changed, just adding that section on the floor.
No, I mean,
You're not
if you can see on
changing anything
the, yeah,
else.
if you can see on the floor plan, like it's
I
gonna,
saw it.
yeah, so it's not gonna be a bank
Look
anymore.
up, you're just
The
gonna fill it in.
teller area is gone.
Yeah.
The teller
Yeah.
area goes, the vault stays, the storage in the basement stays, private offices upstairs. There's no expansion to the exterior walls. Everything's gonna be interior.
I have no questions. Any questions?
I have none, it's mostly employee parking problem for the majority of times. Yeah.
Right,
What do you get, 7 or 8? I mean, I go back,
Eight.
that was Wallaston Credit Union.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I went back to like
100 years ago.
Yeah.
I think when I was looking through the registry of deeds, I think I got back to like 1924. And it's always been either owned by I can't say that it
A
was
horse
owned by.
trader?
It's always been owned by what looked like a financial institution, so.
No questions.
No questions.
No,
Can we have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, ZBA 23-11, Thomas Kavanaugh for a fine. Do you want to take any, I mean, there's nobody here to speak in favor against. I
Yeah,
just didn't know
you're
if we
right.
have
You're
to.
Those are my clients.
Yeah.
No one's here, so. Oh, okay, all right. Anyone want to vote in favor, speak in favor, John? Sorry.
I just know formality,
There was-
Tom. We-
I know, there was no one
Council, we
here.
have to, you know,
There's
sorry.
just no one in
I know, I get it.
John Rutherford, 62 Grunwall Road. This is in the Wallaston Urban Redevelopment Place, so this is actually a small redevelopment. I think this is good, and I'm in favor.
What'd you do, some beard trimming, John?
Get some beard trimming.
Yeah, what are you doing, huh? The mustache is gone, John. Polls are undecided, first call, second call,
Wait a
no.
minute, I have a letter here from DPW, they reviewed the submittal and have no questions. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? One call, two call, three call, closed. Motion?
Mr. Chairman, ZBA 23-11, Tom Kavanaugh for a finding to expand the floor area of the second floor of the property and modify the first floor interior layout of the premise numbered 651 Hancock Street, Quincy. I make a motion to grant the finding.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Motion adjourned,
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
we'll pay for this
Gentlemen?
in April.
Yeah,